Hello, everyone. Good day, good evening. I hope everyone's staying cool out there. Just in case you're wondering where you are talking to Natasha Tomlinson here in Arizona. I thank you for joining tonight's webinar. I am a realtor, a real estate agent here in Arizona, serving the greater Phoenix metro area, licensed in 2005, and just wanted to start out thanking you for spending some time with me here this evening. So whether you are a landlord, you're long-term savvy investor, maybe you're tired of the current rental headaches, or you're just exploring the idea of owning residential real estate in Arizona, you're in the right place. Just going to give it a minute for anyone who may be experiencing any issues to chime in here this evening. And today's topic is one, that's a bit critical for 2025. It is owning rental property in Arizona. We'll review some of the rules, some of the riches, and a little real talk. You'll walk away with a better understanding of how to avoid some costly landlord mistakes, how and when to use a 1031 exchange, the key differences between short-term and long-term rentals here in Arizona, how they're classified, why certain Arizona markets are outperforming others right now, and what's changed in regards to landlord laws and regulations in 2025. So yeah, we'll go over all that. I'll make sure you have the chance to schedule a free 15-minute call with me to discuss your rental property and investing strategy. You can just jump on the link and schedule that call, at my first availability, at your first available option. Let's make sure you have that in the link now before I get yapping, right? Let's get that going. Fantastic. Well, without further ado, let's begin. Again, if you're just tuning in, you have stepped into a webinar tonight entitled Owning Arizona Rentals, Rules, Riches, and Real Talk. I am Natasha Tomlinson, realtor here in Arizona, serving the greater Phoenix metro area, licensed in 2005. I've had the privilege of helping many homeowners, home buyers, investors in that time navigate our marketplace. So let's start off with a quick market update so you know where we stand today and what you're working with. Fantastic. Yes. The trend right now in our market, which started about 2 weeks ago, it really has moved slightly in favor of sellers over the last few weeks, 2, maybe 3 weeks at this point. We've seen 11 cities improve for sellers, with 6 improving for buyers. Meaning improving for buyers, meaning that there's more that's become on the market. Maybe there's more new home inventory in that area, along with resale inventory. And improving for sellers means that some properties have come off the market. We've seen a decline in the number of homes for sale in that particular area. And that's where the movement has taken place. Either they have sold or they have come off the market. So once again, in Paradise Valley is a big part of this trend because of its low supply situation and because of its price point has the opportunity to move the market. With only 98 single family homes listed for sale in Paradise Valley. And to put this, into a bit of context for you, there were 136 homes listed this time last year in Paradise Valley. And so that's 100 fewer than there were in 2022, okay, with 98 homes, single family homes listed there currently. So supply is declining in most areas as new arrivals, new listings are not coming on the market as quickly at this point. It's summer, right? Arizona summer, that's tends to be how it is. The reason for this move in favor of sellers in the majority of areas is a level demand that we're seeing. We're not seeing a huge increase in demand, and that could largely be because of interest rates. Okay. The most negative move right now occurred in the city of Maricopa, which has swap places with Buckeye at the bottom of the table. So right now, Maricopa is our largest buyer's market. Let's put it like that. Okay. So if you're holding on to a rental property or second home, you're wondering whether now is the time to sell. You're in a position where you need to do something. The timing might be better than you think to make that move. All right. Now, let's review short-term rentals versus long-term rentals. What's the difference? Okay, for those who may not know, short-term rentals, think more like VBRO, vacation stays, Airbnb. Okay, they're highly seasonal in Arizona in peak months, which are October through April for the most part. There are higher gross income potential, but also higher turnover and higher expenses. Short-term rentals can be subject to city regulations, specific regulations. For example, Scottsdale requires a license for short-term rentals and an registration of your emergency contact. Some homeowners associations and cities are also tightening their short-term rental rules, or they're trying to. Okay. Now, the pros of a short-term rental is flexibility, right? You as a property owner can still use the home for part of that time. You don't have to have someone in there for 12 months. If you and your loved ones decide that you want to come out here in, March, or April to enjoy some spring training games, you can block out that time, come out and enjoy the property that you own and renting out the other parts of the year. So the flexibility is what a lot of people enjoy. The potential for higher income also exists with short-term rentals if managed properly. And they're great for areas near events, near resorts, near upcoming events, Super Bowl, Final Four, just to name a few, the golf tournaments, just things of that nature. They're great for that sort of vacation areas. Okay. The cons are someone's got to clean the thing. Okay. Someone has to manage it. Someone has to be aware of the market fluctuations and guest turnover, right? Some areas are banning short-term rentals, or they are trying their best to, okay? And your insurance costs can also be higher for short-term rental. Now, are short-term rentals still allowed in places like Scottsdale and Sedona? Desirable, highly desirable areas for short-term rentals. Yes, they are allowed. They are allowed, but they are being regulated. So, as with a lot of things, you follow the rules, you'll be fine. So just be aware of the rules is all we're discussing. Okay. So again, somewhat you need to have a registered emergency contact. You need to be registered as a short-term rental. You need to have the proper insurance coverages should something arise. Okay. And be aware of the rules and regulations, not only within your municipality, but also within your neighborhood, within the homeowners association, if you're located in one. Now, how can I legally operate, again, in your Airbnb in Arizona? You register it with the city, with the municipality. You follow any noise, parking, safety, any ordinances, any rules and regulations of the community, of the HOA. Be respectful of your neighbors. Stay informed of the rules regarding your homeowners association and any restrictions that may exist, or any pending restrictions that may be coming your way. So again, long-term rentals, it's slower money, but it's still steady money, right? So a lot of people love that mailbox money. You know what to expect, you know what's coming in, you know what the rules and regulations are. The long-term rental, the city and the HOA tends to behave more favorable towards that type of scenario versus a short-term rental. There's less wear and tear on the property, and your obligations as a landlord, property owner, rental property owner may be reduced on a long-term rental versus the short-term rental scenario. So, long-term rentals are traditionally 6 to 12 months. 6 to 12 month leases. A short-term rental is typically 30 days or less. Okay. Short-term rentals, again, more predictable rent income. You have that lease for $2,500 a month, $3,500 a month that you can expect to come in for a certain period of time. You know what your insurance premium is. You have your deposits. You know who's occupying the property, pets that are occupying the property. You have your move in, move out scenarios. There's documentation around that, and you go, and there's rules and regulations in regards to how that should be run. It's not a vacation or hotel stay. There's a lower property management cost. The tenant tends to cover the utilities in most cases, but the pros, again, the tenant stays longer, right? It's easier to manage remotely, and you have consistent cash flow. Arizona tends to be a landlord-friendly state, but you do need to follow the fair housing laws and eviction timelines. And the con is to be aware of any unexpected repairs that can cut into your margins. Yes. Sorry, I think I got bit by a mosquito. So, yeah, someone's always surprised that we have mosquitoes in Arizona. We do. So it's not as bad as back east, but yeah, we do. Anyway. So there are some possible changes coming down the pike to short-term rentals. Folks who are living as homeowners are trying hard to get things back to how they used to be. And I'm not going to say that they'll be rolled back in all the way back, but there may be some changes depending on what part of the state you're in. There may be caps on the number of short-term rentals that are allowed in a particular area. There may be required safety checks, more contact information for any emergency contact, increased costs for licenses for short-term rentals, a possible statewide registry, tougher penalties. All of these are possibilities, and we'll see what happens. Now, what are the responsibilities of a landlord in Arizona? Landlord is to have the property be in habitable condition, no pests, right? AC needs to be working, heater needs to be working, hot water needs to be made available, need to abide by the fair housing laws and abide by the Arizona Landlord Tenant Act. And if you're curious and need a copy of that, you can certainly look on Google, or I can provide that for you without issue. Let's talk a little bit about, for our savvy investors who may be considering what other options are available to them in regards to investment property, and how maybe they're thinking about cashing in that rental property. So let's talk a little bit about the 1031 exchange and how it can help you grow wealth through rentals. 1031 exchange. Let's say you want to sell your rental property, but you don't want to pay capital gains taxes, right? That's where the 1031 exchange comes in. Here's the basic idea. You sell one investment property, you're able to defer your capital gains tax. You can reinvest those proceeds into another like kind investment property. It's important to know, here's a myth that I hear a lot. Oh, do I have to, if I'm selling a house, do I have to buy another house? Is that like kind? And the answer is no. Like kind is real estate for real estate. Sell a condo, buy a house. Sell a house, buy a fourplex. Sell a fourplex, buy mineral rights. Excuse me. um, Sell a few houses, because you can sell multiple properties and then turn those proceeds into one property through it and defer your capital gains tax. So sell some residential real estate to buy a shopping center. These are options that many people are exercising today by way of 1031 exchange. Now, there are some rules that you must follow. In a traditional 1031 exchange, you must identify the new property within 45 days. And you must close on that new property within 180 days. You have to use a qualified intermediary, a QI. You cannot touch the money. And some people have problems with that, but those are the rules, okay? And the new property must be of equal or greater value. Now, I mean, there's reverse exchanges, and there's different types of scenarios that you can use. And when you talk to your QI, your qualified intermediary, they can tell you what options are available to you, what would work best in your particular situation in regards to a 1031 exchange. Now, who are good candidates for this 1031 exchange, right? Tired landlords, right? You've had an eviction or two, the property is in rough shape, you don't have the means to upgrade, you have no interest in upgrading the property, you're just not interested in continuing down this road anymore, and you want something that's a little easier to manage. 1031 exchange may be a great option for you. Investors wanting to move from single family to commercial, to multifamily, to residential, to land, to DSTs, to mineral rights, and there's a variety of options. Out of state owners wanting to relocate investments to other states like Arizona. One client a while ago, they decided to trade 3 older rental properties that they've had in Phoenix, and they had problem tenants. Or they tried because of the price point, whatever the case may be, the tenants were troublesome. All right. A 6-unit property. And they used a 1031 exchange and increased their monthly income by $2,100. That's nothing to be upset about right there. So if you're thinking of selling and you want to avoid the tax hit and have an idea of what your options are and what opportunities exist in today's market, let's talk about your 1031 exchange options, and feel free to hit that link to book that free 15-minute call to discuss it further. I'll make sure you have that here. Yes, yes. Maybe? Great. Great. Some mistakes that can cost landlords big money. And that would be mistake number one, not screening the tenants properly. There's a number of sites you can use to see if there's past evictions, uh, see if they have the ability to pay over a long time, there's steady income that's coming into the property, things of that nature that you can check to make sure that you're placing a good tenant, creating a win-win situation for that person. Another issue may be not raising the rent incrementally over time. You have a tenant that's been in there for 15 years, still paying $950 a month. That's problematic. It's problematic for you because this is an investment for you, Mr. or Mrs. Landlord, and you're not maximizing the potential of the property. This could cause trouble, I'm sure, on your taxes, documentation, and it could also cause trouble for the tenant because they're not keeping in line with where things are today, making it harder for them to make their next move. So it really doesn't create the win-win situation that we talked about earlier. Doing DIY repairs that you are not qualified to do. You know, you didn't change an electrical panel because you watched a video on YouTube. That's one person that comes to mind. You don't do things like that. If you're going to change a light bulb, change the air filter, depending on what your level of comfort is and how mechanically inclined you are. Painting a wall is very different than doing electrical work or doing plumbing work. It could cost you more in the end. So just be aware about that. We're all here for saving a buck, but let's make sure you're not breaking your back in the process. Don't ignore maintenance. Small leaks can turn into major expenses. So be aware of that. Failing to document communication. Okay, be sure to keep email, text messages, especially if there's a challenge, an issue that has arisen. Make sure that you keep notes on the issue and not understanding the rules regarding, maybe your homeowners association may have rules, eviction timelines, emotional support animals, fair housing laws, Arizona Landlord Tenant Act. Be sure that you understand what the rules of your municipality are. Yeah. For Arizona, Maricopa County specifically, the courts tend to move more quickly. As I said, this is a landlord-friendly state. So be sure to know your rights. Tucson, there may be more protections for tenants than here in Phoenix, but overall, still more landlord-friendly. Homeowners associations, again, may have some restrictions about short-term rentals. So be sure to check and then check again, right? Measure twice, cut once sort of thinking before you buy. If you are a DIY landlord who is tired of learning lessons the hard way, I can help you build a stress-free system. Be sure to schedule a call to discuss your options and the opportunities that exist further. Do a quick switcheroo. Great. So, what's next for you? Are you wanting to exit the rental game and cash out? Are you ready to upgrade or add to your portfolio with a 1031 exchange? Do you want to switch from short-term rental to long-term rental, or the other way around, maybe vice versa? Do you want a better tenant management system, or do you want to add your first investment property? There are opportunities in Arizona's real estate market. Are you ready to take advantage of them? But be sure to be educated, be decisive, and well advised. Now, as I mentioned, I do work with folks who have been landlords for a while. They're looking to add property or switch out property. Aspiring investors throughout Arizona, I'm here to help you make confident, profitable decisions. During the 15-minute call, you'll walk away with a property evaluation, market timing insights, strategy roadmap, and clear next steps. So, during this time, I just wanted to show you a little bit some of the areas here in the greater Phoenix area, give you an idea of where pricing and activities lies at this time. So let's start with Mesa. We'll just touch on a few of the cities before ending for the night. This is condos that we're looking at. The condo market right now, we are looking at more of a balanced buyer's market for condos. Okay. Some flippers and short-term rentals have decided to cash out. Some vacation rentals, some second home owners have decided that it is time for them to move on from Arizona or move on from condo ownership and place their property on the market. And so we do have more condo owners on the market. Could be a number of reasons. Could be because of increased HOA dues. Could be because of increased insurance costs. Could just be timing, the economy, and just where we are in our market cycle. But that is where things stand. So the median list price for condos in Mesa, Arizona, we are seeing the median list price sit at $300,000, and new listings coming in higher than that. We're seeing the days on market increase, so longer marketing times is what we're seeing. And we are seeing more price reductions. 55% of all listings on the market have seen a price reduction. The rents also came down a little bit, but they're hovering around $1,484 per month. So that is Mesa. Let's head over to condos. We're looking at condos right now. Let's look at Scottsdale. No, some of these places are not in Arizona. We want Scottsdale, Arizona. Thank you. Condos in Scottsdale, Arizona, as you can see, again, median list price has come down. We are sitting at $495,000. Average days on market for condos has increased 142 days before getting an offer accepted. Average. We're seeing that 50% of the listings on the market in Scottsdale have received a price reduction. We're seeing inventory come down, which is typical of summer months. A lot of people take their home off the market. And we're seeing rentals, median rent, come down as well, $2,440. Condo market. Again, let's look at condos in the city of Phoenix. Sure, Phoenix. Okay, great. Phoenix. Median list price again has decreased. Condo market, $312. Average days on market for our condos has increased, 126 days on market, with 54% of all condo listings in Phoenix have received a price change, price decrease. And we've seen the number of listings decline and our rents come down a bit as well at $1,525 a month for condos. And let's see Right, let's see. Paradise Valley, a luxury area, but we'll take a look, right? A little bit of time. Again, median price for condos 1.2 million, average days on market 94 days, 36% of all listings have seen a price reduction. And we have seen some inventory decline as well, and a little decrease in rent as well, long-term rent in Paradise Valley. We'll check one more area. West Valley. West Valley, we're seeing condos sitting at 275,000, days on market increasing, average at 122 days on market. 55% of all properties have seen a price reduction, and we're seeing inventory remain steady, rents at about 1452, right? Which doesn't cover most people's mortgage payment, but mortgage, insurance, and have money aside for um, any maintenance or repairs issues that may come about if you decide to be a landlord as opposed to selling your property. So something to keep in mind. Let's sneak a peek and look over at the housing side. So single family detached homes median price in Glendale, 488,450. Average days on market sitting at about 87 days. 54% of all listings have received a price reduction. You can see where the homes on the market slowly declining. Could have been some sold. Some folks may have taken their home off the market as well. Or we see rent sitting at $22.50. Let's take a look at an area with Surprise, Arizona. We have some new home sales, resale properties there as well. Existing inventory, our list price sits at 400 and roughly 470,000. Days of market increasing, 103 days. 52% of all homes on the market seen a price reduction. Rents increasing a bit, 2,200. Another area with new home construction. See, most of these areas, there's a slight seller's edge. There isn't a big swing either way from the seller side or the buyer's side. And this is the 90-day moving average. So Buckeye, we're seeing median list price sit at 432,000, average days on market 108. 52% of all homes have seen a price reduction, and rents are sitting at 2,000 per month, median rent. And Maricopa, as I mentioned, is the city with the most in the buyer's range right now, because there's quite a bit of new home activity there as well as resale activity. So we're seeing that price 378,750. We're seeing a bit of a decline price per square foot, increase in days on market. We're seeing 60% of all listings have received a price decrease. We're seeing the median rent in that area, $1,880. These are houses again. Let's go a little further south. A little further south, our median list price, 364,500. We're seeing our average days on market come down a little because we do have some jobs in the area. So they're seeing that inventory dwindle a bit. Same price, 45% of the houses are seeing a price decrease, and the median rent sitting at around $1,800 a month. So, and let's pop on, go to Chandler, where Intel and Honor Health are large employers. Here we are. Median list price, $599,900. Average days on market increasing. 56% of listings there have received a price reduction. Median rent sits around $2,500 a month, a little bit more of a seller's edge over looking at a 90-day period. And let's end at Mesa, Arizona again for single family detached. Our median list price sits at $529,000. Average days on market, 82 days, where 55% of all houses have seen a price decrease, and the median rent has come down slightly and is leveled off at around $22.95. Anyway, a lot of people ask me price per square foot in these numbers, so I just wanted to give a brief overview of where things stand today, August 6th, 2025. Anyway, folks, I thank you for tuning in. I hope you found some information here valuable. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and I will see you next week. Ta-ta.